it's America's man's man. So I was talking to a couple butch lesbians over the last couple days, and you asked me, hey, Pete, why are you talking to butch lesbians? They really run amok here north of the hub of the universe. It's, we're rife with butch lesbians and weak, wussy, male homosexuals. I like to say homosexual, just to get that pronunciation, just in case, I don't want to slur the words. I want you to get the full essence of the problem. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But so anyway, I was talking to these butch lesbians. They're butch lesbians in transition, meaning that they're, like everybody, they start out straight, but of course they're very, very damaged. Both of them, just like the Brookstone girl, by the way, whom I have never, ever named, by the way, never named, never mentioned, never uttered her name to the media, and Fox News tried to get it out of me, by the way. I wouldn't tell them what it was. They would have ruined this girl's life. People never consider that. Anyway. So, and by the way, I do hope that girl figured herself out and found herself a good man, which, of course, would be awfully difficult for her because, like these two butch lesbians I was talking to this week, and actually, the ones I talked to about this week, they don't actually consider themselves lesbians, but the point, she actually said, well, I'm thinking of becoming one because, and she was very honest about it. She was very honest about the fact that she had been, I asked her, I said, where is your father? She said, oh, he's up in Maine. Just don't have a father to watch out for them, and it's really a shame. It's just this whole hippie Dr. Spock, the children are always right. And that's how kids find themselves in the toilet. No guidance, no, just not too bright. The whole boomer generation, the whole Gen X generation. And that's no excuse to say, okay, boomer, because boomers, again, if boomers are that dumb, how much dumber are millennials? So, anyway, so she says, well, and I guess she made the mistake of letting this is in a relationship where she's sexually active with this very non-gentleman. He's non-judgmental, but very non-gentle. He's a big guy. Doesn't know what a belt is. It's literally like a big excuse me. It's winter up here. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, by the way. Big guy, it's kind of like a big dog. Anyway, she says he's she may go lesbian after this. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. This is reality, folks. Millennials. Remember, Lady Gaga was raped. Okay, that's why she said she was born this way. Because saying that you're born this way is a heck of a lot easier than saying, "Oh, gee, I was sexually abused." I know you think that's funny, don't you? But it's the truth. Nobody's born that way. Nobody wants to be a homosexual. Nobody wants to be a butch lesbian. But you can actually read about John Eldridge's account, or actually his wife's account, of what it was like growing up and having a father who was not behind her in all the right ways. It's a book called Captivating. It's by Stacey Eldridge. Lots of weird stuff in both John and his wife's books, but their heart's in the right place. It's a good read. Now this girl I'm talking about, the first one, not by any stretch a Christian, has no, and it's too bad because Christianity could save her and make her straight. Probably would have been better if it had happened before she got what did millennials say? Sexually active as they've been trained to be, as they've been trained to say by Planned Parenthood through years and years of government indoctrination in places like where I went to school, Linfield High School. Crazy Dartmouth hippies like Susan Breen indoctrinating the masses with communism. I'm sure their heart's in the right place too. They just didn't have any fathers in their lives. It's too bad, It's like a generation that just completely went off the rails. But we won World War II, and there's a price. There's a price for taking out the Nazis, and I think we're living it. Of course, the fake news doesn't help. In fact, the fake news in the media is, like I say, I blame television. Anyway, so that's the story of one butch lesbian. So she's had a bad experience with a dude she's been sexually active with, in the verbiage of Planned Parenthood indoctrination. Communists at Planned Parenthood trying to sell abortions. Gee, how do we sell abortions? We can't sell more abortions if we don't, sell the whore life. So Planned Parenthood is turning a nation into whores, a nation of girls into whores, a bunch of guys into players. Oh yeah, alpha males, but not really. Not like the Alpha and the Omega, Jesus Christ. Sorry, I'm looking at my hair and I'm not liking it today. Anyway, sorry about that. busy day. Okay, that's the story of butch lesbian number one, becoming just in transition. We'll call it in transition because remember, nobody is born homosexual. Nobody is born a lesbian. They have to be traumatized sexually into becoming one. And it's a pretty hard sell, who wants to be done up the ass, but the power of television is really amazing. It can sell anything. And as you can read about on America's Man's Man, Students for Life just came out with a really wonderful article. It's a wonderful expose about the former Planned Parenthood director bragging about how they help Hollywood homosexual writers sell abortion, try to make it. It's like no, we don't want any drama surrounding it. We want it to be like a punchline, and like the example that they cited in the story was this story Planned Parenthood, evil thing that it is. I think the Planned Parenthood people should themselves be. I think they deserve to be aborted. They deserve to be legally executed for murdering the unborn. And I don't think that's a controversial thing to say. They've committed murder, and you have to wonder what kind of doctor. I guess it's a hard time for doctors. They would do this kind of thing. Anyway, so that's the story of butch lesbian number one, who was. Had a couple bad experiences with a man after she was not stewarded well by her father, wasn't watched by her father. So she became a butch lesbian. Butch lesbian number two, real quick. Now she's getting married, and I've just learned not to congratulate anybody about their impending marriage to another woman or otherwise, because it always leads to trouble. I was actually on a job interview. I congratulated this guy on his marriage. It's actually it's at a anyway. I gotta say where it was, but he had a they worked in the same place. The fiance and the husband to be and the fiance and the fiance, and I congratulated the fiance. I said, "Hey, congratulations!" And he said, "On what?" And this just happens to be an African American dude, by the way, and like the girl is white, so Even they know it's not right, and and the guy just says in the middle of my interview, he stops in during my interview. He's not the guy interviewing me, someone else. He says, "Oh, I just haven't. It's been a couple of years. I haven't asked her yet because I'm just not. He just says flat out, I haven't had the. He didn't say balls. He didn't say gumption, but I knew what I mean. I didn't have the whatever to go through it to go through with it just yet. So that, needless to say, I didn't make that deal. But anyway. So okay, Butch Lesbian number 2 in the making. I guess it'd be number 3 because I was number 2 there. So Butch Lesbian number 2. She's engaged to. They're very unattractive people. And she says flat out to me, this girl's like 19 or so. She's engaged to this other very unattractive man. What? It's just the truth. And it's not. It's not that they're. These are two. They could be very good-looking people. They just happen to not take care of themselves. They don't take care of themselves because they're millennials, and why should they do anything to take care of themselves? So there are two, and she. So how does she deal with this? She doesn't even realize that she's running away from the fact that she's not taking care of herself. So she just puts on excess pounds, like that person in that book I cited earlier. It's called "Captivating" by Stacey Eldridge. In order to drive qualified men away, and so it's like they have this psychological complex where they've convinced themselves, well, this is the best I can do. And how does she? But she knows something's not right, and so so she displaces the stress from this fact that she doesn't have whom she really wants, and that she's tying herself down to this man whom eventually she's going to throw away, like all butch lesbian types do. It's a man, by the way. So she's but you see that it's not. They're not distinct situations. The butch lesbian is not distinct from the androgynous domineering housewife. And she says flat out to me, she says, well, Peter, like she's educating me on everything that she's been miseducated about by Netflix and Netfreaks and the fake news media, and of course her government school indoctrination by all the unionized teachers there. She says to me, it's like, well, that's not the way it works everywhere, Peter. She says, in my relationship, I wear the pants, and because I told her eventually, just talk to me in 10 years, when she gets sick of this dude. It's like, well, Pete. It's today. I wear the. Girls wear the. I wear the pants in my relationship. She says, Peter, and I've never felt the need to be protected by anybody, or what. All this feminist. It's the same thing they've been saying. It's made them miserable since the 60s or probably before then. But she actually believes this stuff, and so she's getting married to someone that eventually she's gonna get. She's gonna wake up one day and she's gonna realize, well, gee, what the freak have I been doing? And look at this guy, and I'm married to him, and it's basically a divorce in the making. But I've learned not to help people who don't want my help, because they go to HR and they make your life hell. So, but thankfully you know better, and that's why you're on americasmansman.com, receiving the wisdom of the ages from yours truly, americasmansman.com, talking about the poor butch lesbians, and it's really just ignorance. It's another form of ignorance. Nobody is born a butch lesbian. People choose to be butch lesbians, or effeminate homosexuals for that matter. Of course, we've got a lot of stuff in the food that we eat that kind of helps you along a little bit faster in your involuntary transition, like soy protein, for instance. Guys, women, stay away from it. It's bad stuff. You hear about that Impossible Burger at Burger King. They got friggin' genetically engineered blood. But even all of that, plays second fiddle in the culture, in Satan's army, to the fake news media. So number one thing is just stay away from television, stay away from the listen to good, holy, righteous commentators like America's Man's Man. L. Rushbo is a great one. He can kind of prattle on sometimes, but we owe him a great debt. So keep on coming back to americasmansman.com, and we're going to have another nugget of wisdom for millennials that you're not going to get anywhere else, right here on americasmansman.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to follow us on americasmansman.com, because Google is not going to allow for wisdom like this for long, because it kind of detracts from their bottom line. They don't want you to know what they're doing to you. americasmansman.com. Thank you so much. I'm Peter Vidala.